Hello and welcome back to episode 3 of our Timberborn Emberpelts Canyon playthrough. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Glad to have you. Without further ado, let's get started. We did have some issues last time where we weren't really prepared for a bad tide. So we scrambled and set up an irrigation pond over here and then rebuilt some of our tree stuff. It looks like one thing we neglected over here, as I'm noticing right now, is we don't have any lumberjacks up here. That's not acceptable. So we're probably going to want two of them, I think. So I'm going to delete two of these trees right here. Oh, wait. We did have a lumberjack flag right there. That will reach over there. It's maybe not the best spot, but that way we don't have to delete trees, actually. So let's keep with that, and we'll replant those as... mark them for planting as oaks. So we are going to need this sooner rather than later, this lumberjack flag, because there are some birches that are ready for cutting. Other things we're working on. It's a drought approaching this time, but we do need to figure out our bad tide system. Let's see. What do we need for 2 ways? We do need metal. Okay, that's what I thought. I was 99% sure, but I wanted to check if ember pelts were any different. Let's see. We're trying to get as much water stored before this drought hits as possible. Do we have a hollering post? We do. Okay. Good. So for this, at least, it would be very useful to have even a small pile of planks over here set to obtain. And we could even put logs over there as well, because we're going to need those as well over here. Yeah. Let's see. We got some vacancies. We might want to consider... Okay, I was going to say we might want to consider more population, but it looks like we're already working on another double launch. We have an awful lot of planks. I think it is time to pause the lumber mill. Use our resources elsewhere. And we can probably slow down a little on the pumping now that the drought has hit. It's a 10-day drought. Yeah, I think it might also be helpful maybe to connect these areas this direction too. I don't know if that would be less walking or not. It really depends where they have to go. No, it's way over there right now. Yes, it would be less. 100%. Platform first. And then we're looking at stairs. Let's set those two decently high priority as well. Actually, really high priority. And we'll put this in just normal high. What that? What? How many builders do we currently have? Aha! We only have one builder. No wonder nothing is getting built. Let's fix that. Holy guacamole. All right, now those birches that we planted for quick turnaround are finally actually getting cut. Now we're getting a lot of vacancies though, so we are going to need... See, all the vacancies are... 4 of them at least are here, and then 3... Okay. 3 of our inventor huts are open, and we're missing 4 haulers. I think that's acceptable for now. Okay, good. We're starting to get logs. We really do need those. These oaks are going to be a huge supply. See, so this junction currently, yeah, it went down by about 30. It was 120 something. So that definitely is helpful. Still a long path, but anything is better than nothing. Yeah, we still have enough planks. Beets. We planted beets? I don't remember planting beets. We planted a few beets. Beets can be grilled, yes? No, the beets need to be in the bakery, I believe, for baked beets. Yes, and they also require maple syrup. Was the beets, maybe I got that just for the beet and radish juice. I was told I should get the juice going as soon as possible because juice counts as both food and liquid and water. Like, it covers their hunger and thirst. So, I think we're going to unlock that press. We have some stuff coming in for beet and radish juice, and we also have some apple potential and some tomato potential. So, we do have the ability to utilize a lot of that. Now, okay. I think I want a different path over here and then delete this path so we can have some more buildings, if that makes sense. More buildings, power buildings connected to our power wheel over here. So if we do it that way, this press does require power. And it also requires gears, apparently. That makes sense. Something that we actually need gears for, finally. We can unlock a gear workshop. That's not a problem. What is a problem is we don't have the workforce to really utilize all of that stuff at the moment. Okay, we can pause that lumberjack flag while we're waiting for some trees to come online there. Okay, so why are you going all the way over there with that? Where are you going? You grabbed the logs from way over here? I guess that's set to obtain? So that might be why. Well, if we just put it to accept for now for a little bit. So, anyway, Badtide solution is basically going to be to try to get the water to this level and then have a floodgate over there. So for that, we are going to need floodgates. We have plenty of science for that. And we're just going to have to start building levees. While also making sure that we control where the water spills out of. We're actually going to need levees here. No, not levees there the whole way, but eventually we'll need some platforms there. So if we got levees like this, and then say like that, but some of these levees, it's this flat top floodgate. Oh, but it's solid. Nice. Requires metal though, so we're not there. I think we're going to build it like this to start with, but some of these levees here are going to have to be floodgates to initially so that we can shut it off when the bad water comes. Let's see, how much flow did we have? I want to say it was 4. Going to dev mode here quick. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Yes. So a 1 space flow is going to be sufficient. I want that orientated the other way. And then if we just need 2 of these for the waterfall limit to be floodgates. But I'm going to start with levees so that they can walk across it. That was kind of silly of me to do it like that. This will work better. There. I do think we can set this back to obtain. We're getting more kits. We got some trees that are grown up here, ready to be cut. So these apple trees are growing up too that we are planning on just harvesting. We need to be making planks again, unfortunately. We are out. Yeah. I'm going to delete these 2 presses just because they have a lot of our planks and other materials in there right now. And we don't have the gears to finish those anyway. Okay. We are definitely struggling for some workers. Dies in 4 days. Well, actually, they don't even need a splash of water this time. And we got some of these that are surviving. Looks like we pumped out all the water here. We still have some water here. That doesn't really do us a whole lot of good unless we put a pump there. Actually, there's kind of that pocket right there. That would be a good idea to have a pump there in general, I think. Might also make sense to do something like that. And maybe have another pump right here. Yeah. Then all we would need is 1 platform here. And we can pump out of both of those locations if we need to. I think a lot of our workforce is okay. This guy has nothing to do really anymore. And this guy doesn't, we don't even need him right now either. We have no haulers. We have 1 person working this. And it's really not even, I don't even think that's necessary at the moment. We can just pause that. Okay. Now we have some pumping going on again. Way off in the distance, but it's better than nothing. Don't know if we need 3 beavers here. Let's try 2 managing these crops. We're actually full on grilled corn storage, and we don't have anything for regular corn. So we can pause the grill. Those are full of radishes. Okay, that makes sense. Some radishes waiting to be harvested. Let's just see how the 2 beavers do. I think they're going to be okay. Okay, we have a little bit of corn coming in, but we're going to need corn for other things too pretty soon. So I think I'm going to plant a little bit more corn. This can reach down here. So with that in mind, why not? It takes a while to grow. Drought ended. Okay, excellent. How are we coming along with all of this? Not great yet, but we're working on it. It would go a whole lot faster actually if we unlocked bridges and do that. Yeah. That's gonna be the way. As I thought, we're running lower on planks. We have the water wheel spinning now, though, so we can... Oh, this is making our planks into gears. Do we need gears right now? Maybe. I think even just having 20 more gears would be good. That's the wrong building. I want this one. And gears. All right, now we're going to run into labor issues because we need to be pumping water again. Maybe I do pause that gear workshop. Maybe we go down to 3 builders for now. There we go. Nothing to gather yet, so for now that beaver can be doing other things. We can pause that one for now too. That's really only when the other pumps aren't available because of droughts. Yeah, we can have that focus radishes. We're gonna have at least enough time for the radishes to come in, although we're not really hurting for radishes at the moment. Okay, so that bridge is almost done, and then they'll be able to work on the levees simultaneously. The beavers look pretty normal until the red ones are right next to the charcoal ones. Then they look really red. Okay. Now we should be able to build a lot more of this simultaneously. No, we can't. Gosh darn it. I was really hoping that would work, but they can't actually reach that. Yep, that doesn't work. What would work, however, is if we do this and then put a... Do we want an even longer one? I think that's too much science to invest. If we put it there, then they can work on it fairly quickly still. They can't reach all of it, but they can build more simultaneously than currently. We don't know if this is a drought or a bad tide coming up here, but we do know that we want to have a bad tide diversion set up as soon as possible, just in case. We also know that some of these apple trees that are dead should just be cut, probably. We're down to only 1 kit. That to me says time to build another lodge. Now, people are saying the lodges, if they're connected, only one needs to be touching. Like have a path. So I'm going to try that. I assume that's what the skyways are to help with as well. But if that's accurate, then I'm wondering if just building that there will allow. I mean, they can't reach it. That's obviously going to be a problem, but if that will allow them to access that lodge with the other ones connecting it? Question mark. If I do that, they should be able to reach it. And it is a bad tide approaching. We do not, of course, have our bad tide solution ready yet. It's kind of understandable, really. It's a lot of levees to have to build to make that work. Oh, to make them actually be able to reach that bridge, we need this ladder finished too. The stairs. There we go. Now we should be able to multitask, people. Beavers. Yeah. You know what I meant. Can't even set that one to obtain. There's nothing for these guys to do, so we can pause them. Good. I want to see if that gives me an error message or not, or if you need to include skyways. Ooh. We ate through that corn, and we're not making more. That's a problem. It also... Okay, all the corn's just sitting here. That's the problem. Okay, so once this is turned on, and it's the griller is actively going out to get corn, these guys should be have some time freed up. Hey, we are full on water storage. Let's go ahead and pause 3 of these. We'll set this to raw corn and obtain. I think just more haulers would be helpful, and another builder with some of these, some of the free labor we had, or not free labor, but open labor, available labor. There we go. Okay, so that's built, but this isn't. Okay. Let's make a little bit more gears, I guess. Yeah, this is not going to be done in time for the Badtide. And there might be some water splashing around some as it's being built, so I'm kind of wondering if I should pause it while that is bad water that's splashing about. Possibly. Possibly. Oh, these have apples that are ready to harvest. We can unpause that gatherer. What is this gatherer doing? Gathering apples. Perfect. That's what we need them to do. All right, corn is not in here fully anymore, so those beavers are now picking corn. Good. Although that corn got grilled up quick. Pause that guy again. Are we sitting on clay? Hardly any. We are going to wait to turn that back on because it does take water. And yeah, we don't have a whole lot of water available to us. Let's see, how long until this dies? It's going to die before the Badtide, which is over. So we will splash it with water once throughout this. A lot of these are 100%, so we need to actually just harvest the radishes. before they die to contamination, which it's happening. Never mind. We're not going to make it. Pause that. Okay, so this is coming along nicely. Oh, I just had a mini heart attack. I didn't think I hit record. I did. You guys have been seeing me work on this. So that's good. Very good. This really isn't enough trees up here. That's also not our long-term solution. So it's kind of like, do we plant more? Probably not a terrible idea. Even just a few more oaks. Every oak matters. Yeah. Some of this, like natural overhangs and stuff that are going on this map are pretty cool. It's a very large map. I mean, there's larger, but it's large for what I normally play. You know, since we can plant any oaks we want, there's no real reason to leave those checkerboarded. Let's harvest some of that wood over there because we're gonna need the logs. Okay, so yeah, I'm wondering if we should just pause those two for now because I want a clear spot for the bad water to be able to flow out. Because if we build those, well, I guess it's going to force it that way still, so that should be okay. Just really don't want to end up with contaminated beavers. And it's making me nervous. Okay, yeah, after this one is built, it will just flow over up here. And the beavers will get contaminated if they walk on here. So we have to pause those two. Or they will get contaminated. Too risky. So the Badtide diversion has to be paused for the rest of this Badtide. Unless we made these two dams for now. Then the beavers could safely walk across. You know, to be able to keep working on the diversion, I think that's what we're going to do. And then they'll be replaced with floodgates after they walk across that to access this. That we need them to be able to access all of that. So that's why we're choosing dams right now, because they can walk on it. If we had the solid floodgates or whatever they're called, flat top floodgates, we would probably go with that, but we don't, so we won't go with that. This way there's at least a controlled place for the bad water to flow out. Okay. All right, so we're getting a little closer to this stuff. Fine, it's time to give it a splash and then they'll live. Okay, pause it right away again. Now nobody walk through that water, please. Gosh darn it, you walked through it when you went to harvest that tree. It's a -2, I guess, when they're wet. You know, honestly, they should have like the opposite of the shower and have like a blow dryer that gets rid of the wet fur faster for them. So what if it requires power? What would be really cool is if it also like periodically rains and they all get wet fur, and you had to have blow dryers to help mitigate that. I think that'd be cool. But unlikely. That would be a lot of programming, and all the beavers like being wet except for the Ember Pelts, and the Ember Pelts not an official faction, so that probably wouldn't do much. Okay, we got to just keep that grill going because we're full on corn again. Maybe I make a bigger storage for corn. It would probably be a good idea, to be honest. Just where we have our grill at the moment, it's kind of tight quarters. There's not a lot of room to store stuff there. Did it just start flowing enough to go that way? Was it not over there before? I'm a little confused. We're really far in the cycle for that to have happened. I did notice that this lodge filled up no problem without an entrance. So that is definitely useful. Interesting shape. Okay. All right, we're getting some more gears built up slowly but surely. And every little bit's going to help with that. Hey, we're getting close to this Badtide diversion, to be perfectly honest. So it's going to be that these are floodgates, and we just close these and open up this one when it's a bad tide. And with this levee here, it'll force the water all right here, and it'll flow off the map. Remember, the water does not flow off the map above the water sources. So that's why we had to go over here. If we had tunnels or something, or dynamite, we could have blown it up so we didn't have to go nearly as high and bring it off over here. I chose this side because it was just one lower than the other side. Okay, so after that levee's done, we have to destroy these two dams. Let's destroy the path on top first. And then we replace those two with floodgates. This one actually can be completely open. And have those two completely closed. And they should be able to reach it from this bridge. And that will be our Badtide diversion. It has to be manually set up at the moment, turned on and off, basically, for when there's a bad tide and when it ends. But that's okay. Really. Oh, looks like we're getting some gear, so I'm going to go ahead and make one of those presses at least. We don't have the gears for two. We can put them both down though. And maybe we put some medium tanks. No, that's not a tank. Medium tanks on the other side of that. Let's say this is going to be apple juice, and this will be beet and radish juice. Beet and radish juice. Maybe this could be corn juice, actually, since we're producing a lot of corn. That might be a thought. We're not producing a lot of apples. So then this could be beet and radish juice. No, that one will be corn juice. And then beet and radish juice. Needs power to operate, and we don't have power flowing. Oh, because our Badtide diversion's up and running. Look at that. All the bad water's going bye-bye. Actually, for this one scenario, we probably wanted it to keep flowing. To be perfectly honest. Just so that we still kept power. We have our first bit of juice. Corn juice. There it is. Oh, and it's gone. Beavers drank it. Yeah, so we're just going to leave this set up like this because that's open so that we can flush out this bad water. And with that, we can officially work on this. This should honestly be complete pretty quick. Let's turn our pumps back on. Maybe even that one. Why not? Now, how are we doing on power? Not great on power right now. Maybe if we put another one of those. But how can they reach it? Well, the short answer is they can't. At the moment. The long answer is I don't know how I'm going to make them be able to. It's going to involve something probably like... Oh, like this. That one's unnecessary, actually. Actually, what am I doing? That's overcomplicating it. We have a bridge unlocked. That makes so much more sense. Yeah, I'm actually going to put a beaver on this large power wheel for now. Just because we have demands at the moment. Basic need thirst, basic need nutrition, juice, and corn juice. So it doesn't say it satisfies hunger. Because I still have this basic need hunger, and that's not included on this. It does give them the basic juice and then whatever actual juice it is. So that is definitely helpful. And it gives their thirst. So still helpful, but it does not count as hunger. So corn that gets made into juice is corn that does not fulfill hunger, is what it looks like. Unless this is lying to me. I've had games lie to me before. We don't need these anymore. We're gonna empty them. This one's actually already empty. But what it does do, I wonder if, yeah, I bet each ration of juice is as much hydration as one water. So you get from one water and one corn, you get 5 corn juice. That's a lot of hydration compared to just drinking water. Assuming it fills up their water bar as well. Now, I probably should have guessed that. No, actually it does look okay. I was like, the water looked way nicer than the juice, and that very well could just be limitations of the mod. But it actually didn't look that bad. It was just I think it shared the texture of the canola oil instead of the texture of water. If that makes sense, because the water's texture has this like refractive. It looks like it's like water in the tanks. Canola oil looks thicker. Whoa, what's going on here? We're flooding. Oh, that makes total sense. As we make this higher, this isn't set up for that. So by making it this high, we've turned this whole thing into a reservoir with a whole bunch of evaporation. Now, the final solution is not to have a reservoir here, honestly. It's going to be have it on the backside of this. So maybe that's what we start on here soon. And if we want to keep doing it here, we're going to have to build levees along this. So that got a lot of our beavers wet, which, as we know, they don't like. Could really use those blow dryers right about now. Even though a lot of this water is going to be lost to evaporation, it's still going to be more water total. So it's still going to be useful. Let's go ahead and high prioritize that. Yeah, they're all going to get wet. And they're not going to be happy about it. Not one bit. Oh well. And I guess I could let some of the water out this way if I really wanted to. It's just a -2. It should be fine. Oh. Also would help if we turn this forester back on, and these trees won't be dying to contamination any longer. We can turn this back on too. Beet-in radish juice. We got that going yet? Not quite. Okay, so that's not as efficient as corn juice. However, it doesn't require a water for the beet-in radish juice. So you're gaining four hydration units basically, which is similar to the corn juice. You're gaining 4. Very interesting. But this one also doesn't say that it provides the basic need of hunger. But yeah, if we could get hydration from just beet juice, beets and radishes, we technically don't need to pump water at that point. We do need it for the corn juice still. I wonder, what does the recipe call for apple juice? That doesn't require apples. I mean, it doesn't require water. Tomato juice doesn't require water. It's just corn juice that requires water. So all the other juices convert food into hydration. That really lowers the amount of water pumping you're going to need. You're not going to need a whole bunch of water storage if they can get their hydration from the juice, and the only juice that needs the water is your corn juice. However, you are consuming water at the clay pit. But I for sure see less like large tanks full of water necessary for the ember pelts. My prediction. Why are we still going way over here? What's going on? I don't know. Yeah, that's kind of a hot mess. I kind of want to delete that path. It really shortens things, but gets them all wet, and they don't like that. So let's make a different way for them across. that doesn't involve them getting wet. All the beavers will be happy. Yeah, blow dryer would really come in handy about now. Don't think it's going to happen, though. I wonder if how it connects that way, does it connect up and down, too, for the lodges? Like, I build another double lodge up here. Does that mean that that doesn't need an entrance as well? Because it's on top of another one? I don't know. But it is time to build another. We're down to 2 kits, so we can build another double lodge. No problem. I mean, there might be some problem, but not a lot. Yikes, that's a lot of error messages right there. The important thing to note is that replant entries not marked for cutting. Are these not even marked for anything? What are you doing? Those are marked for cutting, so you should be planting them. These will never die again. I am super happy to see that. That tells me that we should make these birches back to oaks. And also, this is unnecessary now. Meaning those spots could just straight up become oaks. Interesting. Died to drying out. How did that one dry out, but not these ones? Yeah, replant dead trees not marked for cutting. Actually, no, don't do that. Just cut those first. We need the logs. Duh. Okay, so they built this, and it's not giving me the error message at all. So, yeah, you can just stack them on top of each other, and they don't need to connect. That is really nice. It almost seems too nice. That it eliminates the need for a lot of stairs, which, yeah, it's nice, but you don't have to get as creative. Kind of a similar thing as ladders. I mean, I had just ladders in front on my folktale playthrough, and I would just stack these up way high on top of each other with just a single ladder to get into all of them. It basically does the same thing, but you don't even need to build the ladders. I guess, but I also did that for my storages, and that doesn't work. So, not entirely as easy mode as ladders, per se. We're getting up there in population, but I do think we have the ability to feed that population, and that's kind of the main concern with that. I think we can put some more beavers here, and I think some of these radishes can be beets so that we can keep up with our juice needs. They are drinking that juice fast, though. We aren't really catching up with the juice. I wonder if we need to pause the grill to let more of the corn go towards juice. Although we need the food too. Pretty sure. That's what it seems like. Yeah, we're just not harvesting everything here. Whoa. Why is this one green? Huh? Nothing wrong with you, right? Are you sick? Lopentel Flamagic. What? Is that like one of the leaf coat colors that somehow got on here? That's what it looks like. Although I've never played or even watched the leaf coats before, so... Yeah, I just found it weird that that one's green and has a name with magic at the end of it. It's the Lucky Magic Beaver, I guess. We'll just go with it. Oh, what to work on now? Well, I think it's safe to say... Well, we pumped out all of this water real quick, actually. We don't have a way to empty this. So that was a mistake, because that's going to cause issues for our crops. So let's go ahead and delete one of these dams and let out some water. Yes. Hopefully not so much that it will overflow there, but it might. So far, we're okay. That's actually a lot of water with all that water back there, too. Yep, it flowed through. So we are... We're pushing water off the edge of the map, basically. Okay. But now we stopped. Now it's equalized, it looks like. Kind of, now it started again. That's weird. Maybe if we pump some of it before it has a chance to get out there. Yeah. We don't have a whole lot more storage for pumping, though. So that will be fixed once we have sluices. I just noticed there actually is a path over here. To get to that, I thought we had to climb up here. But no, there's actually a zigzag path right there that we can start collecting some scrap. And I think we want to do that. Let's put a storage there as well. At least a small one. What do we need for our smelter? We do need bricks, and we don't have the kiln yet. So I think we're going to have to turn the clay pit back on and look at building the kiln. Okay, it does not require power, which makes total sense to me. It shouldn't require power. I thought for sure that bricks would be stored in the industrial warehouses. Clay is, but not bricks. They must, I mean, in the piles. They must be under the warehouses. Let me just click that and check. Yep. That's okay. Oh, excuse my yawn. We haven't even started to drain that. If this goes dry, then we'll have to delete another one here. Really, the end goal, not end goal, but a goal is going to be building it here. Kind of got to decide where we want to build it here, though. I'm thinking there seems to be a natural line kind of right here. So maybe if we build levees here and then across. I mean, that's big. It is. No doubt. But we're going to want it big at some point. Maybe we're not quite there yet. It'd be nice if we didn't have this whole area flooded. That's just losing a lot to evaporation. But water we wouldn't have at all if it wasn't there. So what if it's getting evaporated? They're gonna go grab those logs. It's unfortunate. They're gonna get wet. All right, so we got our population up quite a bit, which is helpful with how many jobs we had that needed to be done. I am going to unmark those apple trees there for cutting. And these ones too. There we go. Got some beets coming in for some juice. We are not making enough juice, guys. We don't have enough corn to supply the corn juice at the moment. There's a lot of things that corn is used for, from the cornmeal to the corn juice to the grilled corn. It definitely seems like to get all of those different nutrition needs met, because of the fact that there is both food well-being bonuses and juice well-being bonuses, it does seem like the Emberpelts are going to be the most crop-heavy faction, at least compared to the Iron Teeth and Folktales. It's my impression, and because the kiln also makes charcoal, they will also be a pretty heavy tree consumer too, if you go the route of using charcoal. Oh, excuse me again. To use charcoal for your engines. Alternatively, if you use biofuel in the liquid engines for your power, biofuel requires crops. So we're back to that, which is kind of nice, because I did feel that the other two factions needed to grow so little food for the amount of beavers. Like, your settlement required a lot more wood once you had bots than you did food, like 5 times as much. So having one of the factions that does require more food, that's kind of refreshing. You have to maximize that and probably build some vertical farms, is what's going to be in the future, to be honest. Yeah, I think it's just fine. Now we're starting to have vacancies. That's not the word I'm looking for. Unemployed beavers. We want them to have jobs. What can we do to fix this? We can make more haulers. Probably also want to unlock builder's hut. Don't know where we would put said builder. Maybe right there. That way we at least have an option for some of our excess beavers to go into that. These birches are harvested. They can be replanted as oaks. We can even get more oaks going here. We are definitely going to need the wood. No doubt in my mind. Could even start another tree farm on this other side, which probably wouldn't be a bad idea. So right now, when they're walking all the way over there, they go up here to come down again. So this will save some mileage. Well, that's kind of in a weird spot. In fact, we don't even really need that. We do need probably 2 beavers working the Wheel of Shared Shame. And delete that one too. We got some scrap, but they won't build the storage for the scrap because we're out of wood again. I say wood a lot. I assume when I say wood, I mean logs. It's usually what I'm actually trying to talk about. Now, this has gone dry again. We still have another day of the drought. To me, that means we delete a levee. Let more water out here. There we go. Problem solved. Mostly. We even got water flowing again, so we got excess power being generated. We set this down to just 1. Do we have enough power? Almost, but not quite. think we could also use some more tomatoes. And that's in range of that. Tomatoes both to be eaten raw and to make tomato juice we're going to want. So that's the thing. All right, you know, we're at just about an hour. We are almost done with a drought. I think we made some good progress today. The main accomplishment is this Badtide diversion that we got set up. That's going to be huge if when we have bad tides come in, that we can have all of these crops and trees continue to grow. It's going to be very beneficial. That was our main accomplishment. We also got our dam higher and accidentally flooded this area as a result, but oh well. It works. This whole thing became a big reservoir that's not very efficient because of evaporation. We also started collecting some scrap, which is of course going to come in handy for our our metal needs come the future. I think our 40 planks is enough. I mean, our 40 gears. We need more planks. Unable to get planks because of log. We need logs. Okay, that makes sense. Drought is over. I'm happy with today's progress. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you watched to the end, make sure to leave a like, because you watched it to the end. You obviously enjoyed it. Leave a comment. Love hearing from you guys. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you next time.